Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and trippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who got a move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em, single bottle, never stop it, till the feastin' on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white.
What's up, Hooday? The Bengals and Bruce. Let's go. I was looking at something on my phone. My bad. Also, before the show, it's still saying it's not streaming to X because we need a premium account. But
son of a bitch.
But we don't have our blue check mark either, and it said it had to review it. So when we get the blue check mark, if it's not streaming to Twitter at that point, then we'll be like, this was fucking pointless, and we'll get rid of it. But
how'd you guys get premium?
Because we got a new sponsor, which you'll see scrolling on the bottom through part of the show.
You got a sugar daddy?
It's the Chop Shop.
You got a sugar daddy?
Yes, we got a sugar daddy to upgrade to the premium on Twitter so we can provide content there as well as YouTube and Facebook. Obviously, easiest, go subscribe to YouTube. That's always going to be legit. Facebook I had to re-log into Facebook right before the show, so I was kind of running late to hop on because that wasn't wanting to log in either. So I had to connect it to not the Facebook page, but the Facebook profile. It's a whole thing, man. So
they're trying to stop us.
We're here.
They can't
for the
stop
ones
us.
that are here. And Hooday and the Bengals went 0-3 in the preseason, so season's over, right?
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Pack it in.
I'm taking all them Destiny Year shirts out of the shop.
So
wrong. Destiny Year. Tom Brady barely won a fucking playoff game. Right?
Tom Brady didn't even play in playoff or preseason games, did he?
Neither did Joe. He played one series.
No.
We went down the field, scored 6 points. Boom.
Brady has played the preseason. I remember the Bengals sacked him in preseason.
Greg, nobody asked you, God damn it.
Hey, I got evidence.
That is true. Even when he was older with the Buccaneers, I got that sack, Greg. Good call on that.
Yeah, suck it, shot.
Greg with the recall, boys.
Let me just say this, though.
Recall.
For the part that our Bengals starters played.
That's a question for Chop.
Oh, yeah. Well,
what are you streaming on only?
Later on tonight, I'm at a family function, and there might be some footage from that. But what I'm saying is, if you take the preseason where Joe Burrow was out there, if you take the preseason where our starting offense is out there, we're undefeated. 7-0. 7 points, and then 3 and out. Boom, motherfuckers. NFL, you're on in fucking in the way.
On notice.
You're on notice.
You're on notice.
I do want to say something real quick. Some breaking news as of 8 minutes ago. The Bengals did make some waves. So wide receiver Hakeem Butler, running back Noah Kane, offensive tackle Jackson Carman.
Jackson Carman. We're fucked.
Holding.
We're so fucked.
Holding. He still got a penalty.
Defensive end Andre Carter, linebacker Aaron Casey, safety Michael McDowell. Wow, cornerback Alan George. That one was a little bit surprising, but we kind of saw that the writing on the wall.
I thought I didn't have him to make it.
Yeah, Kwame Lassiter, Rocky Lombardi,
Lassiter.
Eric
what are we
Miller,
gonna do next
and
preseason?
Joshua Pryor. So 11 guys gone.
Well,
that first sip hit my lip, Dustin, and it's just like instant, it's a different me.
Can we get a moment of silence for Jackson Carman?
Yep.
God damn it!
I got here.
You suck at a moment of silence, Derek.
You don't talk.
Are you really wanting
silence?
You said yep, then you keep on moving.
Everybody, here's our moment of silence.
Moment
Ready?
of silence. Ready, go.
You can't do an applause while you're doing a moment of silence.
What the fuck, man?
So
You know
rude
my
to Jackson
country.
Carmen.
My feelings.
Yeah,
Pour
we're
one out for
we're
him.
sad. Our offensive line is going to be so horrible without Jackson Carmen back there supporting our guys.
Let's hope and pray he makes it back to the practice squad.
What are we going to
Let's
do
not.
on
Let's
third
not.
downs when we actually get the yardage instead of a penalty call?
I don't know. I did not say Cochran. As of right now, he is still on the team. I think there's still quite a few. There was only 11 out of what? Where were they at?
Yeah, there's a
90
lot
or
more
not
cuts
90.
to come.
They were-
So don't just because you've seen this initial wave. Cut down day is Tuesday at 4 p.m. So
It's like 40 something people.
no one's safe yet, but this is an initial round of guys that it's like, yeah, we're good.
Oh, I'll tell you someone who's safe, and I'm not know if I'm jumping into the conversation too early, but I'll tell you who's safe after watching that game last night. Charlie Jones.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh,
Charlie Jones is safe as shit. You see
Yes.
him returning that fucking ball?
Every
Come
time.
on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, since
He's
we know,
just
since
natural.
we know James Zappy right now. He's probably going to draft Charlie Jones the first pick of the draft or something.
They might.
Speaking
Probably
of-
so. Well, we know he ain't gonna auto draft. He made me feel like shit. Like fuck your family function. I was reading through the messages this day.
Fuck
Look,
you,
he's
and
basically
Joe.
he's saying, "Fuck your family, Chop. You better be on here doing that draft live."
Well, he's not going to be on the show either, though.
Yeah.
I know.
And he-
I hate people that are auto draft. They fuck up
Which-
the whole flow.
Speaking of, if you're listening or watching right now, guys, tune in tonight, 7:00. We'll be drinking some more brews. I'm
I'll be
drinking
hammered
water
by that
right now.
point.
Got to stay hydrated, but we're
No, I got to
definitely
work
gonna be
out in
having some
between,
fun.
so I'll take a break with some water in between, so I'm not too hammered.
I will be at a family gathering, and I'll be having refreshments of an unknown nature. I don't know.
And yeah, Will, they were at like 87 because there's already a few guys that got injured or different things or cut or whatever, like Maxwell, they had cut. So minus however many more, and that's where we're at. I don't.
Yeah.
If it was 11 that got cut and we were at 87, then
Right.
we're at 75. Look at that math, boys.
No surprises so far.
Almost
Still-
like you're a teacher.
Still a
or
long way to
something.
go. Well, let's not advertise that.
Not gonna lie, I did have my fingers crossed, but I knew Noah came. I knew he wasn't gonna make the team, but I did have my fingers crossed that they
And
were gonna
Chop's
want
favorite-
that big muscle guy for that 1 yard.
No,
I thought maybe there's a possibility,
I never entertained that.
but he didn't.
And
make the
I don't
team.
know if you guys saw Dale put out his, AKA this beautiful man right here, put out his 53-man projection. So if you guys get a chance to go on our Twitter and check that out.
And some of them hurt because they
It
weren't
did.
necessarily by my heart. They were by what I'm projecting the Bengals might do based on who played, who didn't play, and
Yeah.
things that have been said. You know, because there's guys that I would have on the bubble like Dejon Anthony, which we can get to that.
Yeah,
But the way the Bengals talked about him all through camp, I don't think he's necessarily on the bubble in their eyes.
Yeah.
And our guy Jean Meta here, so Hude Ace's comment here, linebacker 45, Chop's favorite name to say, Muma Jean Meta,
Muma Jean Meta. I've been
still here,
practicing.
and
Dale.
hopefully that's a good battle at linebacker though. Even Devin Harper had a hell of a game. He had 11 tackles, which we'll break down more of this. And Jean Meta ended up, I seen 9, I seen 10, and I seen 11. So he had between 9 and 11.
11.
Yeah. Dan Horde said 9. So
He was all over
Ford
it,
said
man.
9.
Yeah.
Fox Sports had 10. ESPN had 11. So that's
yeah.
the 3 different things I saw. Either way, that's a hell of another game for Jean Meta, 3 in a row. RIP to Jackson.
R.I.P. Man.
Bengals
There's going to be a
storm.
candle vigil down
He
at
can't hurt me
Payport
anymore.
tonight.
Got to get to the super chat, which we appreciate, Dustin. You're an absolute freaking man. $5. Anybody else want to do super chats to us? We will never turn those down.
And
Yeah.
you
Thanks
can
to our
do bigger
sponsor,
than that.
Dustin Croft.
You can do like $1,000 super chats.
Well, I don't advise doing that.
I do.
We're not.
kind of.
We never give that good of content.
No, we don't give that good of content. But if you
Honestly,
wanna
$5
overpay-
is probably a good maximum.
But if you want to overpay, we're all right with it.
preseason is mostly way too long and scary because of injuries, but I don't remember a time when second and third stringers had to face the ones, especially as much as they did. The last 2 games, they played the ones a lot. Great experience. And specifically the defense, right? Some of that defensive depth. Now, I know they gashed us in the run game at the end of the day, but had close to 200 yards or something fucking ridiculous, which is still a concern that we've talked about. But I will say, overall, man, that defense against some starters the last 2 weeks made some hell of a plays. And we'll get into some of the guys like Cedric Johnson, who I'm very excited about, who was getting cut this year. Yeah, where do you guys want to start? Go with the game. Greg's got something there. Let's go to Greg first and see where he wants to start with.
Funny thing is, Jordan Battle really wasn't getting that much attention. Some people are like, what's going on with Battle? And I think he heard that, and he battled it out through the whole game yesterday. If anybody just helped him. I mean, we all knew he wasn't getting cut or anything, but Battle battled himself for a pick six, had a hell of a game, But like I said, people were worried about him, but Battle, man, really helped himself out yesterday.
So whatever the cuts were, saying they still have 74 to go, so long way to go on those cuts.
Ooh.
Speaking of which, thank you, Paul. Everybody go like and subscribe. If you're watching the show right now, hit the like button. That over anything helps us out more than you know.
On YouTube. Watching on Facebook and not on Twitter because
be like Paul.
Be approved.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Maybe we should clean the show up today and quit cussing because maybe Twitter's watching to see if they're going to fucking improve us for the goddamn premium shit.
God damn it, Chop. You can't fucking keep doing that.
Oh.
Okay. I apologize. I have tried to cut down a little on the cussing, but, that's kind of the show, right? We're kind of a bar room tailgate.
Exactly.
Just a bunch of dudes being dudes, talking football, giving our opinion. Shit,
Showing
we're dumb as hell, but we
rub barbecue sauce on our chest sometimes.
Yeah. Barroom, it's a gay bar, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like we're dudes hanging out at the gay bar.
Yeah.
Talking football.
Sindustries mentions Burton there, like maybe won't have an instant impact. I know a lot of people are in uproar because he had a great preseason, but at the same point in time,
you're right.
He seems to be a little in the doghouse, learning the playbook. The people last night mentioned something about sleeping through meetings. I think that all comes from college and Nick Saban. Nick Saban had a lot of really shitty things to say about this guy around draft time, which I always hate that, man. You coached him. He's out there making plays for you. He did pretty good for your team, but you're going to shit on him. I mean, maybe it's like, well, I'm just being honest, but at the same point in time, man, if that's your guy that gave, his sweat for you on that football field, I'm not a fan of coaches doing that, but at the same point in time, Burton even said himself, I heard the interview with Dan Horde, that there's a lot of things he's got to improve on, and he's got to be more detail oriented, just lock in more. So hopefully he actually takes those words and puts them into action because the sky's the limit talent-wise with the kid. I mean, we all see it.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's what Joe says too about him is that he just needs to get into the playbook more and pay attention to the detail.
I do know one guy I think will make a huge impact at wide receiver this year, and it's one of Greg's favorite players. What's his name, Greg?
Oh, yeah.
Chop.
I'm not playing wide receiver.
Andre Yosevich. So this picture is for Crip because we no longer play the video, but this picture is from that video. We don't want to upset Greg, but this picture is from the video, and this picture is for you, Crypt Keeper. So, there's our man Greg, and if you know, you know.
Brought to you by Manscaping.
If you don't know, you can go back to the episode after we beat the 49ers last year.
Oh, I love it.
It's glorious. Glorious, glorious. It always makes me laugh when I watch that clip.
Hey, plus, I just noticed, man, everybody check out in the top corner over there that new logo you put up, that Can Crusher. I love it.
Yeah, and I know I've changed some logos and this and that in the backgrounds lately. Just trying to find something I really like. I think this one looks good, so I'll probably stick with this logo and this background for a while.
You can find all the
We've set the record for most logos.
All the logos that Dale kept spitting out. I just put them on fucking T-shirts.
Dale would send us like 6 or 7 logos, and I'm like, okay, this is hard, but I finally ranked them. Then I'm like, more. Then he's like, how about these? I'm like,
yeah. And then after he ranks those, I'm like, well, I ultimately ain't choosing any of those. Here's 6 more.
Well, after we got the one that we liked the best, I went ahead and ordered one on a T-shirt so I could see what it looked like for quality control, and then you changed it again. And I'm like, all right.
No, they're all awesome.
Literally, like you could go to the store, right, and get like a different Bengals and Brews shirt you could wear every day. You could have one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You're welcome.
Sunday even.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what I want to say for that game? There's a couple things. First of all, right off the first fucking catch, I thought Charlie Jones secured his spot right there. Not that I thought he was going anywhere anyway. But the second thing is I want to apologize to you both you Ohio State homers about last year's draft when I said Anthony Richardson was the best one in that draft because, man, I was fucking wrong. That guy is not good.
I just traded Anthony Richardson for C.J. Stroud in my work league.
C.J. Stroud does not have to worry. Hey, they were trying – the announcers on Prime, I came home and watched the game, were trying to talk Richardson up. Wasn't happening. That motherfucker can't get the ball to anybody. He is horribly inaccurate.
He looked a little rough, but he might be getting the kinks out too. And
I mean, it was against our third string defense. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Is our
and I think that says a lot about our defense.
I want to say this about Richardson. He was never that accurate at Florida either. It's something that, I don't know. Maybe he improves with more reps in the NFL. The dude's more an athlete playing quarterback than a quarterback right now.
If you go, like, when you're there and you see him in person, he looks like a running back. His legs are so fucking thick. He does not look like a quarterback. He looks like a running back.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of the screen, Renee.
Yeah, it'll scroll by, but it's like Chop Shop 513.myshopify.com.
That's right.
If you Google Chop Shop, you'll find it.
Well, if you just put Chop Shop there,
if you just go to my Twitter,
it might take you a minute, but you'll find it.
You can go to my Twitter handle right here, and there's a link.
There you go.
That as well. But right here's the link scrolling through right now. He's got a ton of different stuff on, and a ridiculous amount of stuff. So
I do, and some of it's great, and some of it sucks. But you can pick.
That's a glowing endorsement.
There's honest, actually, I gotta say, your legging game is pretty strong. I
just took the leggings off.
You ordered you some leggings?
I ordered me some leggings, yeah.
I swear to God, you got them in time. I just took the leggings off because somebody did get a pair, and they put them on and said you could see through them. And I said, well, yeah, that's the purpose. That's the purpose. Yeah.
All right, guys. So I do have some stats out in front of me, some different topics I want to talk about, but let's start at quarterback. Logan Woodside, 16 for 21. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
76%. We'll take that.
Okay.
98 yards. Only 98 yards. That's not good. He played the whole game, basically, and he had 98 passing yards. And he had a run where it was like, oh, that's a nice run, first down. Fumble and turnover in the fourth quarter. So, Logan Woodside has shown me nothing that he should even be the practice squad quarterback. I'm sorry. Nothing against the guy. Seems like a great guy. He's worked his ass off to still be in the league, bounced around different leagues than just the NFL. But if it's me, and Paul Daner talked about this, do you make a call to Derek's number one guy, A.J. McCarron?
Yes.
Or try to find another practice squad quarterback. Do you think the guy is here, Woodside or Rocky Lombardi, who we've basically seen nothing from?
He took a knee
for our practice squad emergency type of quarterback.
I think AJ definitely would consider it, just because that number one, it keeps him active and ready for the following season. Maybe he wants to take a break, who knows? But
also $1 million.
His true league he cares about, the UFL or XFL or whatever.
Yeah, the place where he actually gets to start.
Wouldn't he get vet minimum if he came?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so that's fucking $1 million.
Well, if they sign him to the practice squad, I don't think he would.
It's not as much money, but then he got called up last year, and there could be games. And they always rewarded Jake Browning.
I'm telling you, practice squad probably pays more than that $60,000 he got in the UFL or whatever.
Oh yeah. And I think depending on Jake Browning's health, he might be a practice squad call up for a game. What the hell?
What the fuck is going on? Greg eating oatmeal cookies, the batter?
Man, he really took eating ass to a whole
My pipe was sitting in the basement. My pipe was sitting in the basement. It's just dipped peanut butter. It's peanut butter. Jet peanut butter crunchy. I thought I'd come out with a bang.
What the fuck is going on here?
What are we doing right now?
All right.
Hey, I told you I had other stuff planned, Dale. You said we needed.
He really wants that Savage video buried and not talked about again. He's willing to do anything to get that Savage video buried and never seen or spoken of again.
Because we know what today is right now. It's the Peanutty Buddy Bot today. It's the Peanutty Buddy Bot. It's the Peanutty Buddy Bot. It's the Peanutty
Don't lose your pants.
He's malfunctioning.
We'll get banned.
Somebody hit Greg's reset button. Something's happened to him. Unplug him for 30 seconds, man, and then plug him back in.
I want
Restart your
everybody
router.
to know what they
like a
originally
router.
thought this was at first.
I thought that
Honestly,
maybe
I thought it was like, I don't
Who?
even know. Maybe like
Diarrhea.
diarrhea.
Well,
No,
if I had
green.
Chipotle last night, it would have made sense because this all would have been corn right here.
I thought it was oatmeal.
No,
To
close.
be honest, close.
Close.
Fucking crunchy peanut butter.
So anyway, what were we talking about?
Let me get off here and cover my
Quarterback,
face
so-
in tomato soup.
To bring Greg back into the conversation after he
You're
rubbed
right.
peanut butter
Yeah.
all over his face and
Yeah, right.
malfunctioned
Chunky.
and did a peanut butter dot bot.
Right.
AJ McCarron, is that a guy maybe you called? Because Logan Woodside was 16 for 21, 98 yards. I just haven't seen enough out of him, or I can't take you seriously.
Greg's serious.
Answer this
face
real
with
quick.
the
Go
fucking
fucking
peanut
wipe
butter.
the shit off your face.
Do you want me to do it? No, come on, let's talk. Let's just
AJ,
talk.
would you call AJ McCarron look for a waiver claim for that like practice?
I would
squad
call. I
quarterback?
don't know. I would call Catherine Webb first. Then I would call AJ McCarron.
I bet the fuck you would call Catherine Webb.
Who's Catherine Webb?
His wife.
Catherine
Greg
McCarron
knows.
probably now,
Oh,
right?
please.
His wife. Yeah.
Assuming
He's got Greg's got a fucking sock in his drawer named Catherine Webb.
Yeah. Remember Brett Musburger, Derek, who was
I thought that was like Madam Webb's actual first name or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
AJ.
Okay.
Anyway,
It's AJ's
So-
main squeeze.
So yeah, everybody's kind of okay. Like, you know, if we get a different practice squad guy, we all know if Joe goes down, we're struggling. And Jake Browning, some people don't like him. I think he's a good backup in the NFL. He showed what he could do in real action with our number ones. But I wouldn't mind a guy like McCarron because he's a veteran guy. We saw it last year, right? When his number was called even late in games or whatever. He peanut butter dot bot. Yeah, that's a great.
Here you go, man.
All right. I gotta wipe this off. I can't take my throat.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
no, I'll be interested to see what guys are released from other teams because, I mean, me personally, I like AJ McCarron. He knows the system, all that, but
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a guy that's going to be cut that potentially could be better
Who?
for us.
Who dares?
Well, last year, Will Greer, right? And
Yeah,
we brought
that's
him
one
in,
of
but
them.
then he
Mhm.
was put on somebody's active roster, so we lost him. But that was we were looking to upgrade that spot, and then we brought McCarron in after that, I believe. So
you
Yeah,
almost
maybe
won
he's
that
here beforehand.
2015 playoff game too. That was
Yeah.
our year.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, and I don't think Woodside is the guy to keep down there to develop or to
No.
even have an emergency because you're not developing AJ McCarron either. But I think I would have more faith if AJ McCarron ever had to play a snap in an important game this season than I would in what I've seen from Logan Woodside. That's just my
Mhm.
personal opinion.
Honestly, I would much rather keep Rocky if you're going to keep just one of them.
Like a
because,
development.
yeah, as a development guy. That's just my personal opinion.
Last night he did take a knee twice. He was pretty good at it.
That's
I was
my
telling
thought
my-
is they would have given him more opportunities if they liked enough of what they saw from him to keep him around, but maybe not. Maybe they're like,
Oh.
we love him so much, we're not going to show him off. You never know what teams are thinking.
The Dallas Cowboys released Will Greer, so he's
There-
available right now.
It's Will Greer season again.
There
for
you go.
that.
Oh, sorry, that was 2023.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
It was last
I was
year.
going to say, I don't even think he was on the
Yeah.
Cowboys. I think then they cut him. He went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Either way, all right. I'm not going to go through all the 53. We'll save that for Monday, the day
Mhm.
before. Let us reflect on everything, see what cuts happen between now and then, who comes out before we give our final projection on here, each of us. But I do want to go to running backs next in general. Travion Woodside had 11 carries, 66 yards. So he had a really good game. But at the same point in time, if they're 100% sold that they want Travion Williams on this roster as running back 3, is he playing basically the whole game of preseason game number 3? It makes you question that, and it makes you wonder
Mm-hmm.
if running back 3 is somebody not on this roster. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I still think, and I've stated this for the longest time, I think our third running back or whatever is still wearing another uniform right now. P. Ryan. Sorry.
If P. Ryan gets cut, I could see that.
Yeah.
But I think Travion looked really good. I was really happy with he had some explosiveness still. And for an RB3, you're looking for a guy more or less that's a willing blocker and just able to come in in a pinch. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just he told Declan happy birthday, and maybe that's why I'm a little more partial to him.
Is that Travion?
Travion, yeah.
I'm a big Travion the human, and I think he's good at that, having as a third running back special teams guy. He's never done anything that doesn't make me think he's not a rosterable player. But I'm just trying to look at it from the Bengals' perspective of him playing so much that maybe for them, they're thinking, hey, we get somebody younger in here, somebody maybe somebody gets cut that's more explosive in the return game with these new return rules. I know they got Charlie Jones, but you put two guys back there, stuff like that, Because it was Evans. Like to start game one with all the starters, it was Travion and it was Chase Brown. And if Chase Brown is getting more reps with the ones at running back, I don't think they're putting Chase Brown back there on the kick returns. If he's going to be like splitting carries even as 1A or 1B running back.
Yeah. I know I mentioned this Monday, but Salvon Ahmed, or however you say his name, he's a guy that's out there right now.
It can't be harder than Momo and Jean Meta.
Yeah. I don't know. And speaking of guys that are out there right now, did you guys mention it all Monday? I can't remember. CJ Uzomah?
No.
I think so.
No thanks.
No, because what's the point of mentioning
what's the point of that? Yeah.
We've already got 5 tight ends.
Right.
He could be a practice squad guy, though.
No, thank you. Man, he was a fucking cheerleader for our team that did okay. And then when he left, he became a fucking asshole. I mean, I don't want him. The thing when he just wore that, I'm not a fucking Zach Wilson fan. But when he threw that Mike White thing on, basically like "fuck you, Zach Wilson," I thought that's a horrible teammate.
Yeah,
personally, I thought when he was here, the cheerleading he did for our team, number
8.
Yeah. So I'm not interested in CJ Uzomah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? We don't need him anyway, man. Our tight end room, to me, if this is gonna break into our tight end discussion, I think we're good. Mike Gesicki's gonna have his best fucking year in the NFL this year. I think he's gonna have a great year with Joe. He's already alluded to the fact about how awesome this offense is. I think that Eric All is gonna be a fucking stud as long as he can keep healthy. Eric All can block, he can catch. I think he's gonna be our all around. And we got Drew Sample for our blocking tight end, and then I think that they keep Tanner McLaughlin to bring him along.
Yeah, and they were
saying, although I don't want to start any shit on X.
And they were saying Eric Hall just added them. I did see they said there was some 12 personnel stuff that they were doing with him, and they really, really liked what they were able to utilize Eric Hall for.
I don't disagree with you, Will. That's for sure. But, man, Dale put something the other day just with his roster cuts and what he thought. Man, it sparked up. Some guy got pissed because we're talking about Hudson not being on the final 53. But, I think McLaughlin's got a really good chance at making the team because he's fresh. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so on my 53 projection I did today on Twitter, I put Hudson over McLaughlin. I switched it up because they didn't hardly play McLaughlin, and it almost made get him the ball, and it made you think like, all right, are they trying to get him to the practice squad and keep him there for a season? Because with Hudson, I feel like all we've heard is how much he's got the trust of the quarterbacks and the coaches and this and that now. And James Rapine swears that he's a lock already. So if James Rapine has any information, and he does cover the team and be around the team every day, he's saying Hudson's a lock. So to me, if they're not going to keep 5, then that means McLaughlin's the odd man out. and I'm not sure he doesn't get claimed. I think he should get claimed. I think he's talented. I would like to develop him. Otherwise, why'd you draft him, right?
Yeah.
You knew you already drafted all, and you already brought Hudson back, and you had Gesicki, and you had Sample, you had all these guys before you drafted him. But at the same point in time, we'll just have to see, right? That is one of the most interesting ones is the tight end room and how many they keep and who it is.
There's a very good possibility that 3 years from now, your tight end 1 is Eric Hall and your tight end 2 is McLaughlin.
If he sticks around.
If he sticks around, yeah. So I
do disagree with whoever was arguing with you on X, Dale, that I don't think that he makes it past the first round of waivers.
Do
you?
I don't know.
It's hard to say. I never want to say he's definitely not going to make it. I personally said I wouldn't risk it because I like him that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand because every year we say this guy's going to get cut and that guy's going to get cut and not make it to the practice squad, and they usually do for the most part.
Sorry, I was looking through these cuts. Was Tyree Jackson, was that the quarterback that converted to tight end?
I think so, from like Buffalo or somewhere
years
ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, we
wide receivers.
You guys kind of talked about tight ends, wide receivers. Burton looked good. We kind of already mentioned, the things with needing to do better. I don't think we have to I think it's pretty cut and dry on the 6 there. And it is what it is. I don't even want to do a full roster thing, but yesterday, so for the game, Burton had 56 yards and another catch. He looked really good again for yesterday's game to stick with the topic of the show.
Yeah.
The one thing I was thinking about, do you think that they just basically have him as kind of that John Ross guy this year while he's learning the rest of the offense, the guy that just goes out there and runs 9 routes, runs, fades, stuff like that, stuff that he's familiar with that he knows how to do? Or do you think
go run go balls, man, because you've shown that you if they want to single cover you, and you're going to be single covered if you're out there with Chase and Higgins, then throw it up and let you go get some here and there. And maybe as he gets more into the playbook, they didn't play Yoshi and Charlie Jones a lot. And as the year progresses, he's going to play more. I'm not going to bitch and throw a fit that he's not out there week 1 getting a ton of snaps.
Right.
I think by mid-season, he's going to be a super big weapon in our offense, to be honest.
Exactly. And then I think he carries it into next year. I think next year's the year that Jermaine Burton is like, oh, he's hit,
Well, they do need to see what we got, though, too, because I'm just saying they just remember in our safety position where they drafted Dax to take over for Jesse Bates and didn't play him at that position enough. And then the next year when they put him on there, he wasn't so great at it.
Yeah. I will say this. I definitely used the Yoshi, or not Yoshi, but the Burton. I used the Burton tape in preseason to my advantage because in that CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, and a couple other, there he is. If you say the name, it pops up.
You're right.
But
something else pops up when you say the name too. It's not on the screen.
I definitely use that to my advantage, and I would suggest other people do the same thing. Seeing all of these highlights of Trey Burton, I think you could get a lot out of him in fantasy right now.
Who the hell is Trey Burton?
Yeah, who is Trey Burton?
Who is Trey Burton?
I think he's the same guy as Trey Burton. Woodside.
Trey Burton. I got to look that up. That sounds like
it's somebody.
It was
I'm
somebody.
Sure there's a lot of Trey Burtons.
It was a receiver. Hold on.
Jermaine Burton.
Wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jermaine Burton. Nosman.
Yeah. Not Trey Burton. Might be his brother, though. He might be up and come. I don't know. Jermaine might have a little brother named Trey who's going to play real good, too. And they can play together in the NFL.
Trey Burton, tight end for the Bears several years back. That's who it was.
Oh.
Tight end / H-back, I think, out of Florida.
Yeah. Called him Trey Boo Boo.
Defense. So we'll move along to defense. We talked about Jean Meta, Shaka Hayward, Devin Harper. All looked pretty good yesterday and for most of the preseason, especially for Hayward and Jean Meta. I think 5th linebacker spot will ultimately come down to them without diving into all that. But 10 tackles for, at least on this Fox Sports, 10 tackles for Jean Meta, anywhere between 9 and 11. Shaka Hayward had 8 according to this. So Shaka Hayward, no knock on him, has had an incredible preseason, and he deserves to be on a 53 if it's not in Cincinnati, somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Jean Meta both deserve to be on.
Yeah.
So the problem is with him, you release him, and guess where he goes?
Pittsburgh.
You know he's going to fucking Pittsburgh.
Shaka Hayward?
Right. Oh, they're collecting Haywards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
There's
There's a family.
Yeah. So that does suck, Derek. You're right. Because that's a very good point. I don't want to see Shaka Hayward out there end up being a stud linebacker for the Steelers a year from now.
No. I would if I'm keeping one of those two, though, man, I want Mumu Jean Meta.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm still on the Jean Meta train for the 5th linebacker spot. I think he's earned it.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think he's going to move up from the 5th linebacker spot, though, to be honest. That dude has got, I don't know, he's just got natural instincts, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's another guy that we have not mentioned at all. And I want to shout out my guy, Al. I don't remember his Twitter name now. Sorry, Al. But he was on Justin Blazek before I even knew who the hell that was. And, I do a lot of draft stuff. Small school guy. He had a sack yesterday and 6 tackles. He was the other guy opposite of Cedric Johnson on the end, just causing havoc. And he looked good. So he's a guy that I put him on my 53 as of right now. But I also said I think it's a placeholder spot. I think it's definitely a guy you hope to get to your practice squad. But I think that's a placeholder spot, and they pick somebody up for edge depth, especially with Murphy being out a little bit. I don't know if Murphy – and here's the thing. If they keep Murphy on the 53, because I projected not.
Yeah.
But if Zach Taylor's saying it's a week-to-week thing with him and it's 4 weeks, well, we're still 2 weeks from the season, right?
Right.
If they think he's only going to miss 2 games of the season for Murphy, they're not going to put him on the short-term IR because you have to do it for 4 weeks.
Right.
Is it 4 or 3? I thought it was 3.
It's 4.
Okay.
Because I was looking into all that.
That changes my mind completely then, because I was thinking 3 weeks, and if 3 weeks, do you give him that extra week to rest?
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I'm not opposed to them putting him on short-term IR with a 4 to 6 week recovery.
Yeah.
Because you also got to ramp up once you're back after the 4 to 6 weeks.
And I know it's really hard to say this, but especially since we haven't really seen the teams, it looks like we have a softer schedule to start the year. Yes. So you could kind of.
No, I'm deleting Bears.
Oh,
delete
I thought you were saying knock on wood. Like, don't say that, because
wrestling fans will know what I was doing there.
But yeah, I could see them putting him on and just saying, "Hey, heal up, get back to 100%, and then we'll bring you back and get you going."
McKinley Jackson's the other guy because, and we'll talk about this more when we do the final 53 projections for all of us on Monday. But are they going to do that with McKinley Jackson? We've heard basically no update on his injury, so he's probably going to be out a little bit because there's just not even hearing the day-to-day, week-to-week stuff.
I thought I saw an update on it. Keep talking.
Hey, real quick, because I
do have Bocce on as linebacker 4. Go ahead, Chop.
I just want to say, check my phone. Shout out to Matt Walker because he ordered, was it 4, 5? I think he ordered 4 different Bengals and Brews shirts for the show. Just show shirts of the stuff that you made up, Dale.
You did say get one for every day of the week.
I did. You're right, and he did too. Thank you for representing.
Now get one for every day of the year.
Man, come on, Greg. I ain't trying to push this shit, Matt. Don't be going and getting one every day of the year,
unless you really want to.
Unless you really want to.
Make a special Yoshi one on January 10th.
Yeah, he said it. He said it.
So the D-line thing could open up. That could open up a guy making it. Like Carlos Davis, the guy we haven't really talked about. I think it's Carlos. He flashed a little bit yesterday. Maybe he makes it as a nose tackle if McKinley Jackson goes on short-term IR. You can designate 2 now without them being out for the season before your 53-man cuts. That's huge because if you decide to do that, you don't have to do this roster gymnastics stuff.
Right.
You can just straight up go ahead and put them on there and keep the other guys. Not have to have some agreement worked out like they did with the veteran guys that weren't subject to waivers like Michael Thomas a couple years ago.
I have a question. Did we find out if the emergency quarterback counts against the 53 or not?
I'm pretty sure it would.
Well, then what's the fucking sense of having allowing an extra guy if you got to subtract a guy from somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't think it'll matter. So,
So like teams could have always drafted a third quarterback, right? I mean, to be honest, like you're 53, so you could have drafted a third quarterback.
Always.
So I don't know what the fuck they're talking
about. You can have
him
on the 53 and not have him on the active 46.
No.
So you're getting a 47th like active by having him on the 53. That is the only thing it's saving, so you don't have to place another player inactive elsewhere.
That fucking
you want to have
all those like math symbols and shit going through it is my head right now.
Yeah, no updates on McKinley Jackson. I thought I saw something,
but yeah, Blazek's a guy who looked good, and I was impressed. And Cedric Johnson's going to be thrust into some kind of role. Thrust, that's a nice word, huh, Greg? Greg's the only one that didn't say.
Greg likes to thrust his ass into his face into that fucking jar of chunky peanut butter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anybody just joined the show missed that. Rewind.
Face on them nuts.
Yeah, he did. He like Greg.
I didn't know if you guys would have thought like, did Greg just get caught in diarrhea or something down the basement?
I could smell those nuts.
When I put the crunchy part on, it really looked like it was like crunchy diarrhea or something.
Yeah, it was like crunchy diarrhea, Greg. You pay a lot of attention to diarrhea.
Oh, sure I do.
But yeah, so Cedric Johnson.
One time I was in the toilet, man, for freaking 2:30 in the morning till 6 in the morning.
It's already off the rails. Imagine the 7 o'clock show, guys.
I know. Right. That's what I was about to say. Dale's the one freaking hammering beers over there, and he's
the lead.
I tell you what, man. I thought I was done with it. Then I think I may have crapped the bed by mistake and all that and stuff. But
what's he might have crapped the bed, Dale.
I thought I farted and all that and stuff, and I'm like, hey, ain't no fart, man.
No,
that is not the bed, Sally. To say and all that and stuff.
But back to Cedric Johnson. So he's definitely going to make the 53, obviously, after the Murphy injury. I really like him. I had to post that again. I hate being like, hey, look at me. I'm blowing myself from what I said in the draft guide. But I said it with, if he makes it to day 3, because I thought somebody could take him late in the 3rd. That's how much talent and being 21 years old, and that I had that much faith in him. But I thought, okay, he was going to make it into day 3, and somebody's going to get a really good steal for a day 3 edge player. We got him in the 6th freaking round. I loved the pick at the time. I continue to love it because it looks like he is improving week by week that we've seen even in the preseason, and he's a effing monster out there. And I'm impressed with Cedric Johnson. How about you guys? Because he's going to have to play some.
He's only 21
last night.
Yeah, he's only 21. He's only going to get.
Well, it got called back by Dejon Anthony, an asshole, his own teammate from Ole Miss.
His own teammate, yeah. No, he's only going to get better. Like he's only 21 years old. He's only going to get better. So I'm very excited about him.
Dejon Anthony's penalty did not affect Cedric Johnson, though, right? It would have had no effect on the play that he did, so I still count it. Fuck him.
Oh, yeah, and he had multiple pressures. He had pressures there when they held him. The Colts went for it on 4th down and didn't score. He had like 2 or 3. He had a couple pressures late in that drive, so he's a stud, man. Yeah, and he's flashed against the Bears. He's flashed multiple times, and he seems to be getting better. And that's what we need, right? Especially with Murphy out. And I think Joseph Osai, he's a contract year. I tweeted that the other day. I look for a big season out of Joseph Osai, who will get a ton of snaps as well, being the 3rd DN behind Trey and Sam, who's working his way off of injury. So early in the season, you're going to get a healthy dose of Joseph Osai and probably Cedric Johnson. And I'm excited for those guys because Cam Sample's also out for the season. So I think those guys could really show up. There's one more defensive thing that I want to touch on, and this we'll also talk about with the 53-man projection. I currently have Jalen Davis on it, but on the 53. But at the same point in time, if he's cut, it wouldn't surprise me. I think he is squarely on that bubble for the 53. And if they keep 11 or 10 defensive backs, they had Newton playing a bunch in the slot.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that's saying, okay, we want to see what we can do here. he might be the backup to Mike Hilton instead of Jalen Davis, because that's what we've talked about the last couple of weeks is Jalen Davis making it because they've had so much faith in him as the backup slot. Mike Hilton.
Does Newton have the speed though to be in the slot though? Because wasn't that the knock on him in the draft was his speed?
I thought he struggled a little bit Thursday night, and I didn't
last
see.
Week he struggled at times.
So and I didn't see exactly. It was really hard to focus on one guy because I was deleting some bourbons last night. But
what about like putting him in like since he's a tall guy? What about putting him in like that Trey Flowers role, saying, "Look, you're just going to be."
Newton's not that tall. I think he's only like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
So I
thought he
think
was.
he's more of a natural slot body type, but he can play on the outside. So I'm just saying that maybe they're thinking because they could put Dax in the slot if they needed to, but he's playing incredible at outside quarterback. So all credit to him for that. I think they could put Turner in the slot if they had to, and then Hilton. And then also if Josh Newton could do that, Dejon Anthony can come in certain packages, and that's why I think they like him. And he can kind of play a slot type role at corner. So I think they got a lot of options there, and I think that may mean Jalen Davis doesn't make it, even though that was kind of my projection. And hey, I may change my mind before Monday's show. You know, I did that early this morning, wanted to toss something out after that game. It's probably going to change slightly, but not too much. And then for Will here, along with the corners, Jalen Davis, DJ Ivy's going on PUP. He hasn't practiced any. He's still coming off the ACL.
I mean,
we'll worry about DJ Ivy in week 6, 7, 8 because they can practice for like 3 weeks after PUP as well.
I feel bad for DJ Ivy because he was really playing good last year, but like
he might not even be back this year, depending on.
Like they might as well like let him heal all the way up. To be honest, unless these guys come out and play as not expected,
they always have injuries at corner though, guys, and I could see like week 8 or 9, then he's active again and he's back in here and right on the roster. And that's a good thing, right? Dude's got freaking pterodactyl ass arms, man.
Yes, he does.
That a thing?
Yes, pterodactyl. Well, they're not T-Rex arms. Those would be like little fellers like this.
Yeah, and I
agree
like
those like orangutans got giant long arms.
Inspector Gadget ass arms. That's also
Inspector Gadget arms. Yes, Inspector Gadget ass arms. Inspector Gadget ass arms.
I've had like 2.5 beers, and I think I'm drunk
fucked
already. I've been cutting down on the drinking. So.
Yeah, me too.
You just said you were deleting bourbons last night.
I was going to say, man, that's progress, though.
Yeah. I had a pretty good night last night.
It's been less than 24 hours, Derek.
Yeah.
No, I did say it was funny. I did say this week that I was going to. I'm like only on the weekends, and I get home from work Monday. I took the whole day. Or I took half a day Monday, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to drink any. The wife gets home. She's like, I need a beer. I'm like, shit, me too. Let's go.
You're having one. I don't want you to drink alone.
Derek was like,
yeah, right.
Derek was like, fuck it. It's Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. And then I'm like, you know what? It's Monday already. I already ruined it. So we'll try again next week.
Yeah, I already ruined
Wednesday,
it. Thursday, fucked it up.
Yeah. You can't start midweek.
Right.
It don't work that way.
Sure.
I did quit smoking though, so that's always a plus.
Oh yeah,
Travis
going to do it. Travis, it'll be off the rails. I don't know how much you should use our show. There will be some people. I just won't be one.
You're
don't
talking
listen
about
to my advice on the.
Yeah, the vape.
Okay. I was gonna say I've never seen you with a cigarette.
No.
I smoked for 35 years, man. I got a vape that I keep in Big Fancy, and I rarely even ever hit it.
Yeah, I was
Newton was playing against some elite receivers against Chicago for sure.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting question. Before we get back to the roster projection, I do want to bring this up. Fantasy-wise, wide receiver 1 for Jamar. You know, he's going right now as wide receiver. I think he's wide receiver 2 or 3, without looking at my list. But
yeah, you probably got Tyreek and you probably got Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase as your top 3 in some order.
Also the Dallas Cowboys. I'm blanking
CD
on
Lamb.
CD Lamb, he's up there as well. So he's a top 5 guy for sure. What do you do with him right now? Like for us, we're drafting at 7 o'clock tonight. Do you take the risk with a guy like that
but it's only for week 1, right? Like if he sets out, it'll be week 1 and that's it. There's no way he's setting out beyond
Lamb
week
or
1.
Chase,
I hope he don't set out week 1.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Chase.
Oh yeah, Jamar Chase will not miss the Kansas City game.
You're talking about Lamb,
cannot stand. No, I was talking about Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Let me tell you this, though. Jamar Chase is a great receiver, one of the best, if not the best, arguably the best in the NFL. But he better get some fucking live snaps before Kansas City if he plans on playing Kansas City. Right?
Yeah. I agree.
mean, look, I'm just saying, like Higgins said, he wanted to get back. And then even after he was in practice, he at some point, like 3 practices in, he said, it was good to get in here and get my legs under me. I had to get my legs under me. I do believe that Jamar Chase is putting in work. I think he's doing work where we can't see it. But that's not the same as live snaps in the fucking game.
There's a difference between being in shape and being in football shape. We say this every single year. There seems to be at least one player there's 32 teams in the NFL. So there's at least one guy that they're always talking about. Yeah, he looks great, but when he goes out there and plays on 11s, he doesn't look right. And it's because he's not in football shape.
Yeah, and to answer Robert's question, I believe that
I wanted
the Bengals
to get to
got
this,
nothing to lose by holding it. The price doesn't go up. At this point, I don't think the price goes up next offseason. I think that we've hit where it's going to be this offseason. Next offseason, when people are signing contracts, it's got a chance to go up. But if the Bengals
does it though?
I'm just saying, if it's going to go up.
Look at who got deals. This is where I'm at with it. And I'm not trying to cut you off because I want you to go.
No, I want to hear.
I want to throw this out there. Tyreek Hill extension, AJ Brown extension, CD Lamb trying to get an extension this offseason, and Justin Jefferson extension. Who is the top 5 wide receiver, since we're talking about top 5 wide receivers, that is going to make the price go up next offseason? And I think that's why Chase wants it now from his camp.
So.
But I think the Bengals are saying the price is the price, and we got you under contract for 2 years. We want to wait. And I'm not picking and choosing a side here.
No.
I'm just trying to give both viewpoints. And that's what I was doing the other day, and that got a little, felt like I'm just being a hater, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I always try to do that, guys. I try to give, this is probably what the Bengals are thinking. This is probably what Chase is thinking. How does it get resolved?
Let me add this in there too to play devil's advocate. And I love Jamar Chase. I love the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? And this is not against Jamar Chase at all. But like if the shoe was on the other foot and the Bengals were treating this Jamar Chase like this, you know what I'm saying? Holding out on him, we would be pissed at the Bengals. This man, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying he's under contract for the next 2 years. What is the motivation for the Bengals at this point today, right now, to sign Jamar Chase, if not to save money, which I personally don't feel like they would save money today. They would save money over the 6 years. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's the same contract next year, then you can't figure in this year to even out the money. But I don't see the motivation for the Bengals besides making the fans happy. Does that make sense? I mean, as fans, we all want it, and we're pounding the table like, just sign him. I'm just being honest and saying I don't know what the Bengals' motivation besides getting him in practice.
Yes, that part, as
that
the
part,
famous Corey Dillon says.
Right.
I mean, I don't think they expected the hold in to last this long is what may motivate them to get a deal done, and that's the only leverage Chase had, is to do what he's doing. And
I got to tell you, now that we know the leak on the payment, $140 million over 4 years, now that or is it 120 over 4 years, whatever the fuck it is. Now that we know the price, it was
160 over 4 years for the extension.
Okay, what that tells me is
reported.
The reason it's reported is because there's frustration. Mm-hmm. So that's the next step. They've kept it quiet. I will say, I heard his camp ain't going to leak shit.
They ain't like Malagueta, who represents some other players.
Mm-hmm.
His camp don't leak shit. Is what I've heard.
Leaked, though.
Yeah. And to
like
answer
Burrow's camp.
to answer Tina's question here, she's wanting to know if while Chase is under contract, is there any penalty for him not participating in preseason? That's why the players are doing what's called a hold in now, because technically speaking, they are participating. They're out there. They're with the team.
Is that right?
But
if you're in camp, you can get penalized. If you are in, and they say, well, he's day to day, like Zach was saying, and this shit at the beginning.
Yeah, right.
There's no fine, right, Derek?
Right, but starting, I believe, because technically the regular season, does it start next week or is it the following week?
Not sure.
I forget.
Good question. I would think next week, right? Preseason's over,
That's
what
I was thinking.
On the 5th,
I think
right?
you have 2 weeks of practice of actual practice before week one.
I think he's practicing next week either way. I said that to you guys the other day.
That's
what
I was about
to
to
tell you
say.
the truth, I think he's
he
been
doesn't
practicing the entire time.
Unless he has an injury, and if the Bengals or if Zach Taylor or whoever is willing to help him out, say he's day to day, which there's rules against that once you're into the regular season. So I don't know how they can get around it. Besides, I think in the end, if he's not out there, he's paying fines. Unless he's holding in, that's where it gets very, very foggy to me.
You can't hold in on the regular season, can you?
I don't know. That's what I'm not really sure.
I mean, like Chris Jones last year showed up to the game. He was in one of the suites. But I'm sure he got fined, right?
I'm sure you could look that up and find out. But Chris Jones, that's the thing. He held out a game and then he kind of got what he wanted. It got resolved before week 2.
Yeah, and in a lot of cases, can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I think that's worst case scenario, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of these teams will you'll get fines if you hold out, and then when they ultimately sign their deal, and within that deal, they basically pay those fines back. The team does. The teams do.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is going to be here. He's going to play this season.
Oh yeah.
I'm not concerned about that. I hope he's practicing next week. That's it. That's all I really have on it.
Yep.
And for fantasy value, I'm not too concerned because I know how good
it's not going to stop me from taking him because I will fucking dominate my fantasy league with whoever.
I have the 3rd pick, so depending on
what pick do I have?
What James and Matt does, Jamar Chase could be staring at me.
Oh, man, that means I'm a 4th at the best. I don't even know what fucking pick I am.
Here, I'll help you out right now because I've got it pulled up already. Give everybody a little glimpse.
Show me your stuff. Whip it out
and see where everyone is at.
Let me get a look at it.
So Cincy James has got the number one pick, followed by Bourbon, then Dale, then Santa Sack. Whoever the fuck that is.
I think that's Santa.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Well, fucking last.
Darth Bangle. Pork Chop, you are right smack dab in the middle.
Okay, I like the
followed
middle.
by Kieran, then me, then Houday Joe, and then the Savage. The Savage is 10th.
Which has back-to-back picks. You get 10 and 11 that way. Greg didn't mind that.
Except
people act like I'm supposed to be pissed off, and I'm like, okay, I'll get the 11th and 12th player. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's a glimpse at our OnlyFans.
Yeah, Greg, don't get pissed off over there. Chill out, man.
The real question is, does Greg take Andre Yosevich with pick
the real question, Dale, is do I shove my fist up your ass? Oh.
It looks like you got a fist shoved up your ass.
It looks like Dale did it to me right there. Dale did it to me right there.
And look at you down in the bottom right. You're like, oh gosh.
Yeah, right.
When he shoved his fist in my ass.
Yeah.
And Chop's loving it, by the way.
And Dale, you look at the glass. He's like, oh yeah, loving that.
Look at that.
That's kind of like I was like, oh god, because I mean this.
Well, it looks like your arm is up it right there.
And then Derek was off camera. Like
Dale's like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm glad I live 2 hours away from this bullshit.
No, Dale, we all know the shit on my face. That was the shit you grabbed out of my ass and smothered it all over my face.
Okay.
Well, now everyone knows.
Yep.
It's not a secret anymore.
Oh yeah, we already had it.
Yeah.
We had it.
Here.
We actually
Yeah, we
did that,
did.
Rebecca.
You guys want to bring it back real quick? We'll bring it back. All right, here is our moment of silence for Jackson Carman.
It wasn't us.
Also not silent.
Yeah.
It's the audience. The audience is clapping.
And then
I bet, man,
pour one out for him.
someone in Fairfield is crying right now. His name's Jackson Carman.
Yeah.
I'm sure
All right,
another
guys.
team will pick him up
We've got
very quickly.
we are officially what?
I got two things there.
2.5 hours. Oh, are we okay?
So this Mark Young has a comment here. I believe Higgins and Diggs are the only ones next year, contract wise, who could have like.
Sure.
And if Higgins hits the open market, wouldn't that be kind of crazy? Higgins hits the open market, and that's why we got to pay Jamar more money if they don't extend him this year. That could happen. That's wild. But Higgins could ball out. He's looked great in camp. He's had a nice, healthy camp. There's nothing going on.
I'm
Knock on
excited
wood,
about him
Derek.
this year.
Knock on yourself. And then the other thing I wanted to mention before we left is punter Rico. 6 punts, 42-yard average, super inconsistent again. Some great punts, some awful punts. A 27-yard shank. It's like, man, I said it last week. Did Robbins win the job? The only problem is Robbins is hurt. We don't know when he'll be back.
He won the job by not playing.
By not playing.
Right.
Because Rico has not shown anything to take the job. So what do you guys think with that, with the punter? I mean, obviously depends on Brad, but Rico I was hoping would be more impressive just because he might be the guy week 1 regardless.
I know a guy that owns a moving company ain't doing shit right now.
Yep.
If they need someone to come in for a couple games.
I think Cam Newton might have signed him to his production
Yes,
company.
he did. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That's got me
A
excited.
job. It's not
That's
in
got
the
me
NFL,
excited,
but hey,
yeah.
good for him.
I mean, he's making videos of going trying out for all these different teams. So, I mean, he was better than fucking Rico, right?
I'll
Rico
say
had some beautiful punts last
Rico's
night.
got a good, he can bomb the hell out of the ball.
Mhm.
But that's the thing, he's inconsistent. And Robbins, is trying to get more inconsistent and boot the ball farther. And
And he
I would have
was
loved to see
inconsistent
more out of
last year.
Robbins because, he had a pretty good first game.
Yes.
Yeah, McNamara had to be bad.
Yeah.
When do we expect that Robbins could be back? Do they say, or is it week to week?
I've heard nothing.
Yeah.
That means we got paid. Cha-ching. Sorry. We got
1 penny.
yeah, we
that ad.
barely get paid for that ad, but hey.
Back in Little House on the Prairie, they'd walk in that general store with a fucking penny. They could get all kind of candy for
How
1
can
penny.
they put an ad on a live show? That is wild to me, though. But okay, whatever.
I
Do
don't
you,
know how it works
YouTube?
either. Hey,
Internet's fucking us over from every angle with Twitter trying to get us spray for.
What do you
pay for
think?
Premium
What's
to
the,
stream on here?
I'm interested. What was the ad that they ran during this fucking show?
Manscaped.
Adam and
Yeah,
Eve.
there it is.
Manscaped.
Manscaped.
Adam and Eve.
They're not
Four
sponsoring us,
Locos.
but they're still getting the Manscaped
Right.
ads in
Yeah.
on our time. These sons of
Exactly.
bitches.
Yeah. Some
No,
kind of
but-
happy
but-
nut ball cream.
We're an hour in, and we're going to be back at 7. So, as Derek was trying to allude to before,
Wipes.
yeah, dude wipes. Yeah, that's a good one too. KY jelly.
Dude
Yeah.
wipes. That's hilarious.
Brought to you by Jif Crunchy Peanut Butter.
Fucking dude wipes.
He saw
That's what
beers
Greg
in the.
used to
He
get
saw
that-
some beers in the ad. He said,
Oh,
Greg, you got to do our sponsors.
"Yeah,
They're
Greg, you haven't even been
sponsors.
doing it."
Right. Well, no, I held up the 50 West beer. That's what I was drinking. But also, here, to hold up with the bang.
oh.
Midwest Best Barbecue Sauce.
Tune in tonight.
I can't.
You
do-
might get some of those.
That's true.
Sure,
I'll be at.
Be off though.
I'll be at my
Cannot have
family.
the shirt on for it, Derek.
When the
It's
draft
not
take
real Kansas City guy.
How many hours does the
Tune in
draft
tonight, and we'll see.
Oh,
We'll see.
Tina being a real one here. She's going to the new 50 West
Oh,
location.
nice. Tina, let us know how that goes.
Nice.
take? What burger is your
I-
favorite burger there, Tina?
I have got to get over there.
No, the favorite one, the regular one's good. Utah one was good. Don't get the spicy chicken.
If you like spicy, get the spicy chicken.
Oh, Tyler must have missed the dot bot earlier. So, Greg, give it to him one more time.
No, I already did give it to him.
He missed it.
The
He's
peanut
talking
butter
about
bot.
the dot bot, Greg, not your
Yeah,
penis.
he had peanut butter on his face that looked like booty, and yeah, it was the whole thing.
It did. It looked like he ate the dog's ass and then came back on TV.
Oh, she wants advice. She has
So Tina, the Utah burger's good. West Virginia, me and Chop can agree. West Virginia burger is a must try.
West Virginia burger, just so
you
you know,
get the
though, is
fries.
covered with apple butter.
But you have to get, Tina, you have to get the fries with the fry sauce. That is a total must.
It's actually not a must. The fries are delicious without the fry sauce also.
That doesn't know what he's talking about.
Different strokes.
Oh yeah. Oh,
as
you
Jimmy
want
would say.
you want the music too,
Oh,
Tyler. I
of
got you.
course.
I got you. I got the outro, baby, on a Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks to Al.
It was oatmeal. That's what I'm saying. It looked like oatmeal. If I'm gonna recommend a burger, when you first go to a place, just get the deluxe. Get the plain D. Yes.
Yeah.
You know who else is deluxe? Andre Yosavash.
Yes. Andre
Yes.
Yosavash.
Oh, my nipples are so hard.
Yeah.
Andre Yosavash.
They would Chop and make a T-shirt out of this.
That sounded
Well,
exactly
I was gonna
like
say,
Greg.
get me a good screenshot, Dale, and who knows what'll happen.
Yeah, there's already a nocturnal emissions shirt.
Yeah.
Out there.
There is a nocturnal emission shirt.
Nocturnal emissions, man. God, I forgot all about that. Some wild stuff happens on this show at times.
Shout out our guy Andrew.
Yeah.
And you all are here for it is the best thing. And
Yeah, we appreciate the
have not canceled us somehow. We appreciate that. All right, guys. We will leave you with the dot bot. We love you. We'll see you back at 7.
Happy
Derek will
weekend.
probably hammer by 7, and Greg and Chop, but not me.
It's like our second to last weekend without real football.
Yeah.
Boom.
I've been drinking water this whole time.
I've been having Mountain Dew Zero.
I will be perfectly sober at 7.
No
o'clock
sugar.
for fantasy football draft.
No carbohydrates.
Hooday. Love y'all.
Hooday.
Appreciate
I love
you
you
as always.
too.
I was going to
Kisses.
say we'll be back on Monday, but I just said we'll be back at 7.
That's true. And Monday.
Yep.
So I'm not drinking.
And your butt.
Bengals and Bruce, the podcast crew. Yellow up an orange arrow, pork chop too. Greg Luther, Big Savage, Dot Bot King, Yoshi Lover, they bring the sing. Cincinnati Bengals, the pride of the city. Join the fun with pork chop, police mayor. Listen in, laughter in the air. Bengals and Bruce, the ultimate flair. The kings of the might know they care.
It's not
Chop,
ended yet.
you were saying something.
Oh, I was going to say on Monday, your buddy's going to be here, right?
Oh yeah, Shane Graham's coming.
Shane Graham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buried the lead there. All right.
Yeah.
I knew you had something, so that's why I didn't end
That was
it.
it.
Who did?
Who